everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. It is almost Thanksgiving, so it is time to work on our Thanksgiving side. So make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be releasing a new episode every day this week. So, cranberry sauce. I know you're like, ugh, gross, nobody likes it. Well, it's because you've never made it this way. So let's go ahead and get started. So most cranberry sauces, people use water. Well, we're going to do orange juice. And we're gonna go ahead and do half a cup of brown sugar. We're gonna do a half a cup of white sugar. And then we're gonna just go ahead and let this boil for a minute until it starts, the sugars start dissolving, and then we're gonna add our cranberries. So this isn't gonna just be cranberries. This is actually gonna be blueberries and apples. We're gonna do some nutmeg, we're doing cinnamon, vanilla, almond. And the best thing is, if you don't finish this for Thanksgiving, actually I plan on using this the next day for our French toast. You do it French toast, crepes, pancakes, pretty much whatever you're looking for. So let's go ahead. So this is starting to heat up a little bit. So I just did 1 bag of fresh cranberries. I did go ahead and rinse these off. You could actually do frozen ones as well. So what I want to do is just go ahead and start heating these up. And I am going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon. The cinnamon actually really brings the flavor out in this. And then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Has not been opened yet. Let's go ahead. Oh, I love the smell of nutmeg. It reminds me of Thanksgiving. It reminds me of Christmas. So let's go ahead and give this a quick stir. You certainly could do this inside on the stovetop, which is typically what I would do, but because I'm going to go ahead and add cooked apples to them, I actually like cooking my apples out on the black stone. So let's go. Oh God, smells like one of my favorite Yankee candles. So, all right, so let's go ahead and cover that and let's work on our apples. So for the apples, I just go ahead and use my chopper, which is my favorite thing in the world. Gets out the aggression, gets a nice even cut of your apples. Sorry, that's really loud at home. But sometimes you gotta make the sacrifice. So my favorite thing to do when I'm cooking apples on the black stone is actually cooking them with a little bit of apple juice. That way you're going to keep your apple flavor in your apples instead of just, diluting it with water. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover those. While that's cooking, I forgot. We're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla and almond in our cranberries. So the best thing about the cranberry sauce is this is definitely one of those things you need to make ahead of time, because we'll get it cooked here today, but it needs to sit in the refrigerator for at least a couple hours so it kind of sets up. So, yeah, we'll just throw the rest of the vanilla in there. So, and then we're also going to add blueberries to this, but I don't want the blueberries to get overcooked, so I'm going to go ahead and wait on adding those. I want these to heat up, I want these to cook, and then I want them to be able to kind of pop open. That's when you can actually tell the cranberries are all the way done. So, all right, so we are gonna go ahead, take a quick break while I saute these apples up. And obviously I forgot something again, so we'll be right back. Once we get to the point that these are starting to cook, then we'll go ahead and finish this. So be back in about 5 minutes. Probably 5 to 10 minutes is what it's going to take for these cranberries to pop. So see you in about 5 minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I am starting to hear the pop of the cranberries, and that's kind of like sound of popcorn is what you're looking for. You can, let's see if you can see that, how the cranberry shell is starting to crack open. That's what we're looking for. They get nice and plump and then they pop. So now is the time that we're going to add our 1 cup of blueberries. And we've been sauteing our apples as well. So to me, like the blue and the red is just such a pretty dish. And not to mention it still smells like that amazing candle. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up just a little bit. I want these blueberries to kind of start, they're not gonna pop, but they're just, I want them heated, I want them plump. And the nicest thing about this dessert, or it's actually not even dessert, but actually it tastes so good, you probably could have it as a dessert. This would actually be super good over ice cream as well. So let's go ahead, now that the berries are starting to pop, and actually I'm just gonna give this probably about 1 more minute before I add the apples. I want to make sure that those cranberries still have a chance to kind of pop all the way. So we're gonna just hit our apples with just a little bit more apple juice just to kind of keep them cooking. But I actually did add a little bit of cinnamon and to our apples too, just to flavor them a little bit. So all right, so, and this is actually pretty much what we're looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and add our apples in here. You could do raspberries if you wanted. You could probably do some strawberries. So again, this isn't your traditional cranberry sauce, but it's a whole lot better. So I'm actually excited to try this on my French toast tomorrow. So, but let's just go ahead. I don't know if our cameraman can kind of zoom in on this. So you've got your apples, you got your blueberries, got that cinnamon, the nutmeg, the vanilla, the almond. I'm like I said, this is going to be great for French toast the next day, but our original purpose is to actually have this for Thanksgiving. So give this a second to cool. So basically, I remember my first Christmas or Thanksgiving with my in-laws, and they're like, what can we bring? And I'm like, I kind of have control issues when it comes to my food. I want everything made from scratch. So I'm like, oh, just go ahead and bring the cranberry sauce. And what do? They show up with a can of cranberry sauce. And I'm like, I heard them taking it out of the can. I could have swore a cat was vomiting in the back. I'm not going to knock the people. I know that's how a lot of people grew up with that cranberry sauce, but I can't do it. It just can't. So let's go ahead and give this a try. This is definitely going to be your new cranberry sauce. So I'm going to transfer it to another pot, let it cool in the fridge, and if you do it in the morning and leave it out, you probably it'll thicken up just like you need, and then it'll be ready to go. So this actually tastes really amazing warm. So I think when I do the French toast, I'm going to go ahead, warm this up, put it on the French toast. But thanks. Make sure you subscribe so you can see what else we've got coming up for Thanksgiving this week.